I'm Chad.
I'm Brad, and welcome to the BroncPod, brought to you by Hastings College Center for Applied Media Arts. Today we have a very special guest, and it's the Talbott brothers.
What's up, y'all?
We got Nick and Tyler Talbott, and I'll let them introduce themselves a little bit, but first of all, we just like to thank them so much for coming on the show. I mean, it's a huge honor. I've been to several concerts of you guys. Chad's been to a couple, and
Yeah, awesome.
oh my gosh, we're just so pumped to have you guys here.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that show we did at the Lark a couple weeks ago was a lot of fun having you there. Yeah, we're the Talbott brothers. We're from Imperial, Nebraska. We've moved around a lot since then, based in Portland, Oregon now.
Little in Nashville.
Yep. We make music and pick on each other all the time. That's kind of our
Full-time job.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Well, I think my little first kind of question for you guys is we just talking. I have an older brother, 2 years older. I know how we got along growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it like being brothers and working together full time and always being with each other?
It's probably
Who
a
gets
lot
to
like
go first?
Yeah. What side of the coin do you want? It's probably a lot like you grew up. It's like you have really good days and then days where you just know how to push each other's buttons, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think when it comes to business and doing stuff, it's really nice because there's a sleight of hand. You don't have to explain a whole lot. You don't have to sit there and try to, I feel like we just kind of have an understanding with each other that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun because it's like you get to hang out with your brother and do some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Travel around, and you bring a little bit of your childhood into that, which can sometimes be good and bad. Like you remember that time when we were 7 and you pissed me off. And
Just
type of
that
thing,
one
but-
time.
But we always have each other's backs, and
That's good.
that's kind of a cool dynamic to have when you're working together.
Yeah, we're very different too. Like Nick is, I would say, a visionary is what I like to say. He has these great ideas, and I'm more like, just tell me what you need me to do today.
Yeah.
I don't want to know too far in advance. I want to know kind of like the night before, and I'll get it done the next day. But we work really well together. We always have ever since we were kids. Just very different, but all music, always brought us together. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, and so kind of going off music there, how did you guys ever just one day decide I want to be a musician? I want to do this. What kind of led to that? And then kind of building from there, how do you explain that from Imperial?
Well, not to go too far back, but Nick did some after school stuff. Like he played football in high school till he hurt his back, which is probably why we do music now. He was a lot bigger.
I picked up the guitar kind of during that time when I hurt my back, and I just started playing it. But we found our dad's old guitar in the basement in his record collection, and I think we kind of had this sort of it's Imperial, it's 2,000 people. There's nothing to do there, and so we're like, well, let's start a band. Let's impress some girls. Let's be like the rock band from this tiny town. And
That's awesome.
but we didn't know how to do anything. We didn't know how to play.
If any guy tells you that he didn't start playing guitar to impress girls, he's lying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At some point for us it became more serious and we kind of felt like we had something to say. But I remember coming home from school and Nick would be in his bedroom just rocking out, playing Three Doors Down or something like that, and I would walk
Going
in.
back to the 90s.
I would walk in and just grab his microphone and start singing. And he had a little band at the time, but we kind of kicked all of them out and then
Yeah.
started doing it without him.
Yeah, we started playing in college in Kearney, actually. At Cunningham's Journal was kind of like our first spot we played.
There you go.
And so we started playing, and we booked our own shows and booked this tour from Omaha out to New York City. And
Wow.
we took a semester off of college, and we're like, if it goes okay, we won't go back to college, and we'll just keep playing. And we haven't gone back to college, so we're
I
Pretty
think
okay.
I
We're
think
doing
we
all right.
Yeah, we're
actually
doing okay.
I think we got that show because some national touring band that was coming to Cunningham's had canceled, and Nick had went into Cunningham's a week before and talked to the guy that books the shows and said, we want to play here sometime. And the guy's like, well, I don't know you, so we can't have you come here. You
Yeah,
won't have anybody come.
but made a demo, and I set it on his desk. He wouldn't even shake our hand.
He didn't
type
even
of
look
thing.
up.
Yeah.
But this band canceled, and this guy called us, and he's like, I'll give you guys $200 to play this weekend. And we were like,
Let's
lost
do it.
our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
I
That
think
is so awesome.
And so the sets there are 4 hours. I always like to tell this story. Your 4 hour set, but you're supposed to take a break like every hour.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that. I mean, we hadn't really been in the bar scene, so we played for 4 hours straight. I think we played Gravity by John Mayer for like 20
yeah.
minutes.
And then we'd say like, hey, we want to repeat a song because it was by request, but we'd actually just say we want to do it again
Just
because we
we
don't
could
know
start
any
over.
other
That's
songs.
only want
that-
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Because I know at the Lark, you guys like kind of let everybody go do the break, and then they're like, okay, we got to do a break now, and
Yeah.
that was kind of
Oh,
fun.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, I
it's
don't-
way different
I
now.
don't normally like to do that, but I get it. I mean, it is good in a
Yeah.
setting like that. Let people go back and to the bar or whatever. But
Yeah, it's cool now that we're playing. You know, when we go out and play tour now, we have like clubs and theaters we normally play and festivals and stuff, and it's so tight with the band and everything, and it's a whole thing, and
Yeah.
it's only about 75 minutes long, and just looking back, you're like, how did we play for 4 hours? Like,
Gosh,
I don't envy
back,
that.
back when we started, there was, I don't know, something about the adrenaline or something we did it, but
It's a lot skinnier than better shape.
yeah, yeah.
Sitting here, you guys have the craziest, like, it's the coolest stories. We're sitting here and you talking about the demo. He's like, I just put it on the desk.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, it was
BS.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking like how, I mean, it feels old school, even though we've only been doing this for 9 years. But yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff's changed since TikTok and Instagram,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's been fun to kind of ride that wave a little bit too and get into that because there's so many talented people out there,
yeah.
and they get to put out whatever they want just like that. And so back when we first started, you know, I remember the day like we downloaded Instagram onto our phone.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
right
the
kind of when we started
yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, like the
travel.
preset filters and stuff, and
Oh, there you go.
and we're like, oh, we should probably do this. And so you post on there, and it was just like, it makes us sound like we're dinosaurs.
Kinda though,
but,
kinda.
But it's cool to go back. Yeah, kind of. It's cool to go back and look at that and then, like appreciate, you know, where we're at now. But
It's such a good tool for us. Social media is like
yeah,
such an easy way to connect with people when we're not playing, you know. So
Absolutely.
try to use it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up like feeling like dinosaurs. I'm 19, and
Yeah.
I sometimes am like, I remember the days when I used to be like, had a good time at the festival, and then one day I used to say like that same caption, had a great time. One
Yeah.
of my friends goes, dude, you gotta like stop saying had a great
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta figure out something new here.
Let's get a fresh quote.
Yeah. I have no clue to use social media at all.
No, I'm-
And I never use it. I'm bad.
Yeah.
I have one post on my Instagram. That is it.
Yeah.
To my 50 followers that
Yeah.
follow me.
It's definitely a love-hate thing sometimes,
Oh,
for
for sure.
sure. It's like you need it because you wanna relate to everybody, you wanna connect, but it's also like the pressure to be so creative just like that every day is
Yeah.
I don't-
sometimes pretty hard.
I don't know how people don't run out of things to say. Like some people make a reel every day. There's some bands I follow. It's like I don't have that much interesting things to talk about. Where like you would want to hear me go on for 5 minutes every
You
day.
just gotta film everything you do and
True.
splice it into 3-second videos.
Yep,
you know?
that's right.
Breakfast.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Because no one eats eggs and bacon.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
That's funny.
So talking a little bit about why you guys are in Hastings today, like at the Lark, you guys are kind of doing something with the Lark, like a listening room per se, with like a whole bunch of different artists. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we're super excited. We partnered with the Lark to do this. We've been talking about doing it for a long time with our friends Dave and Christy Rippey, kind of how we got it started in the conversation. I remember we were just hanging out at their house after a show or something, and I don't know if Dave brought it up or if we did, that we wanted to do something like this, like bring in all these artists that we've met throughout our time so far touring, all these artists we love and play with, and because after they switched management, they didn't really have any direction for like who should we bring in, and
Yeah.
so we wanted to bring in like a bunch of new artists, people that never been here, and people that we know will do really well. Like Evan is playing this weekend, and he's so good, and he's in Nebraska Boy too. So
Awesome.
it's really cool. Like, you know, all the ties. So we have him, and then we have some artists that have like never even been to Nebraska, right? And they're like, "Is this real?" And we're like, "Yeah." I mean, you guys have been there, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. You wouldn't think that would be so successful, but it's a really good spot.
Yeah,
The
it's
Lark.
cool. It's like I think there's 10 artists total, and so they're basically spaced out from now till like next spring, and I think there's 1 or 2 shows a month, and so it's been fun for us to kind of come back and be on the audience side.
Yeah.
This is like tonight will be the first show that we're doing where we get to just kind of hang out and like be present, and but we love curating it and being a part of like the overall picture, and just like what you said about bringing people here and saying like Hastings is a really special town. There's a really cool art scene here and just appreciation for music. So letting other artists know that is pretty cool, but also a little bit like, where is this at again?
I've never been to a show at the Lark like other than ours, so it's like it's
actually crazy.
I haven't either.
it's gonna be really fun to be on the other side of it. So.
We'll just heckle the artists the whole time, probably.
Yeah, we'll be the loudest people there.
Yeah, probably get kicked out.
Yeah. I was when I watched your guys', Brad's like, you should come and watch, and he got me a seat, pulled it right up next to the trash can.
Yeah.
Right there, my arm of the trash can. People thought I was like taking tips for putting. Here you go, man. And I was just in the trash can.
Yes, you're like, that's $20.
So we're sitting there, and I'm hosting because me and Michaela Vanatter and I we are interns there.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there, and Dave's like, yeah, you should. Dave, he's just like, you should invite Chad. Like, get him out here. There's always a spot for him. I'm like, cool. I'm sitting back there. We're all dressed up.
Yeah.
And there's like season tables, things like that. We're like, no, these are our spots right here. And I pulled like 2 chairs right by the trash can in the car.
That's cool.
We own this.
I own this.
That's a good spot.
It wasn't too bad. It was right where it hit us. And then the following week we had a show, and I was there, and it was the Steel Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
They were fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, same spot, and 3 guys came up to me and asked if I was a bouncer. And after about the second one, I go, I am. I am a bouncer.
I work here now. This is what I do.
We're sitting with you then tonight.
Yeah. Get like shirts that say security on the back.
We'll get like those little like Secret Service.
Yes.
Like,
Little earpiece.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were talking to Sarah, who's like the interim like director at the Lark right now, and she was on. We talked to her yesterday about the Lark and everything, and they had that one guy with you guys at the concert got a little rowdy, but me and Brad were standing there like this, like right behind him. I was like, why am I'm not getting paid to be here. What am I doing?
Just ready to roll.
In the heat of the moment, I would have done nothing.
No.
Sir, can you please leave?
Yeah.
It's
we
more
tend
of your presence.
Yeah.
That's a Dave Rippey type of thing right there.
Yes.
It was a Dave Rip. He escorted him over there.
We tend to bring out a little bit of the rowdier side, which is fun. I feel like that's the small town upbringing, as you guys know. It's like I feel like that's been a really cool thing. But
Absolutely. I think that's part of the love for the Lark is you're talking about how it's like it's something about that place. It's just we were talking with Sarah, and it's such an intimate place, but at the same time you can have artists come out like you guys and just have a great time.
Yeah,
it's really special.
It's so multi-use. Like,
Yeah.
you could have a really quiet, pretty show in there, or you can kind of get a little bit rowdy, and I've always loved it. It's just beautiful. All that stuff's like handmade, like the bar and everything. All the woodwork is like hand
It's pretty
done.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kind of going off the Lark and just kind of your upbringing, but from the perspective of being just artists now, how in generality, how is it? How is it to be a traveling artist? Like, what's ups, downs for you guys?
It's a good question.
The traveling does take a toll. I mean, it's like hard to be away from friends and family. But that is where we get a lot of our inspiration and like meeting people and hearing their stories. That's kind of Nick and I have always said is sort of the payoff for writing songs on your own in your bedroom or whatever, right? Like to be able to share it with other people and then kind of make that connection of somebody can listen to it and be like, I'm going through that too. Or some people will hear a song in a way that we didn't even think about, and it'll hit them a different way. That's what I enjoy that the most. We always talk about it when we get off the road. Like right now, we kind of start to taper off in the winter, start writing, recording, and both of us are pretty antsy from day to day, just trying to.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. It's like you're so used to the swing of things, and it's like when you get back and finally it slows down, it hits you all at once, and it's sometimes. You go stir crazy a little bit. You're so used to the fast pace.
When we did the Lark, we did 2 shows, and then we had like a week off. And I think physically, like my body, the 3rd night was like, what are we doing? Like, it's 8 o'clock. What are we doing? We're going for a run? What's happening right now? Because it's just like I'm so used to my rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been interesting to kind of work on that side of things, though. Like, when the world kind of closed down because of the unnamed thing nobody likes to talk about, but COVID or whatever. But
You just said it.
But we basically
beep that out, please?
Yeah, it's a blue button. Yeah, but I think that kind of forced us to deal with a lot of the demons that we had, and probably for a lot of people, like you just basically had to confront things, and so it was kind of nice that was almost a silver lining for us because we toured so much. Gone for probably 150 days a year for too long, and then finally, you're home and you're working on yourself, which actually reflects into the music and makes the music better too. And you get more well-rounded as a person rather than just being kind of stuck out on the road. And because we also want to have personal lives and feel like a human being, not just eat at Taco Bell at 2 a.m. and play rock and roll, which is great, but only for so long.
I have something to touch off topic. Your voice, like the bass note that it hits as you're talking, my ears are like, what is? It's pretty cool. I don't know, it just has that really low monotone voice. But
yeah, we kind of have the opposite ranges, which has been really cool.
I hear I'm like, wow, that's
the Justin Timberlake stuff. I wanna rock your body.
Yeah, he's the he's always been the Justin Timberlake of the group for sure.
Oh wow, I've always wanted. Thank you. That's what I've always wanted.
Yeah. No, the dynamic of what we have is pretty cool. We always joke that he's the singer that plays a guitar, and I'm a guitar player that sings.
I like that.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
And I remember when we first I had that little rock and roll band back, when we were in middle school or whatever, and he came over and started playing, and then he just sang, and we all kind of looked at each other, and none of us sang anymore. And he just started singing. Then we fired everybody else, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good resume.
All right, I think we got one more question, and then we'll take a break, and we'll have you. I think you guys are bringing a song maybe to sing.
Sure.
I think the final question before that is just what is something that keeps drawing you back to Hastings? Why do you guys keep coming back? I'm not complaining. I'm not. I'm just kind of curious.
No, that's such a fair question because, like we talked about, it really is kind of middle of nowhere, relatively, and I think it has always been. The first time we played here years ago, there was just something about the way people were listening and paying attention. We, like Nick was saying, we were at a lot of little bars and things back then where it's just so loud, which is fun too, when it's like that. But it was kind of the first place where you could just hear a pin drop after songs, and we were like, there's something about that place. So we didn't come here a whole lot unless we were playing, but they had that block party a few years back that we did, and it's just it seems like everybody is so persistent on making the community build and grow, and having younger people start businesses. And I know they do that. I don't know how they quite set it up, but the community will pick someone to support, and then they'll give them money to start big ideas.
That's what it was. Awesome. I was there this year. It was awesome.
It's just stuff like that isn't really happening anywhere else in Nebraska, right? You get the bigger cities, and things are just kind of going as they are, and it grows too. But it's just, I think it's kind of the last small town before you get west. Yeah. Where there's a lot of arts and creative and good people too, I would say. Is probably a big part.
You nailed it. I can't even add to that.
Sorry.
It's pretty special, I think, to come back and feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself, And I think this.
Quote it.
Yeah,
quote
that's a cold one right there.
And this series has been really cool for us because, a lot of times when we're on stage, the whole thing, the lights and all that, it's just we love being able to be a part of something where we're kind of on the backside of it and supporting it, and it's music, and we love it. So it's
awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, you got really good burritos here, and food and bars. And
Casey's Pizza, man.
Casey's.
Can't beat Casey's Pizza.
Just can't go. Yeah.
Comes back to Casey's Pizza.
Our band from Portland, when we've come through here to play shows and we stop and get that pizza, they're like, "What is this? How is this so good?" It's from a gas station. Yeah. It is good though.
That's awesome. being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
think that's a big slogan for Hastings and a lot of
Yeah.
other places. So I love that.
That should
Yeah.
be Hastings' slogan. That's totally like what it is. Let's go, boys. What do we need to do? We need to
Not
go get that
much. We're
notarized.
talking to a guy that has absolute influence in making that happen.
Let's
Well, let's
go.
go.
He gives me more credit.
Yeah.
That's what we're going after this. We're gonna knock down some doors.
Let's do it.
Cool.
All right. I think we'll take a brief break just to get all set up for your song and everything like that. And yeah.
Great. Thanks,
Right
guys.
Song's called
You want-
Burn.
I was gonna say that. You want me to say that?
Yeah, you should say it.
I am the one that talks.
You are the one that knocks.
The one that knocks. I'm the one that knocks. Can we just do that? Can we just do that whole scene right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm just thinking about Breaking Bad. I'm ready.
Yeah, I know.
All right. We're the Talbott brothers, as we said earlier. We're gonna play a song called "Burned." How close to the sun can a man fly before he gets burned? I guess you know, honey, I guess I know. And I'm not from man to bring you down, make you cry, but I guess I did, honey, and I don't know why. Ooh, never gonna leave you, baby. Ooh, never gonna go. Each hole in my heart, trying to fill with things that you want. And if you think there's a part of me that's steady, then I don't know who you are. I wanna get drunk on all of your love. Baby, would it be enough if this is all I ever was? Ooh, never gonna leave you, babe. Ooh, never gonna go. Ooh, never gonna leave you, babe. Ooh, I can hear it calling in the back of my mind, making you a promise like a thief in the night. Tell you something honest just to keep you around, hanging on to you till my hands give out. Wanna hold my heart in the palm of your hand. It's a part of me in every other city I've been. Tell you a lie just to keep you around, hanging on to you till my hands give out. Ooh, never gonna leave you, baby. Ooh, never gonna go. Ooh, I'm never gonna leave you, baby. Ooh, never gonna go.
Wow.
You did pretty good.
Yeah, all right.
I wish we
Did all right.
But that was.
Yeah.
We actually have the fuzz, but usually we just raise it. But that was wow,
That was
guys.
amazing.
Thank you.
One of
Thanks,
those
boys.
programmed into our live shows where
I did a little.
Yeah.
Pedals.
Yeah.
I
Nick
was-
and Tyler in the back. Hit it.
I was addicted to watching just your hands like keep going. It was awesome.
Yeah, Nick's a great player. He honestly taught me pretty much everything I know on guitar until we just couldn't stand each other anymore, you know? So
Well, he's left-handed, so I can only teach him so much.
Oh wow.
it
Oh.
was like a mirror.
It kind of
There's
was.
me thinking being naive, not even know it changes when you're left or right-handed.
Check his weight. Change. No, it's really cool. Again, you guys talk about all the time, but you guys have such a good dynamic with each other that like it complementary so well.
Yeah.
And I love it. That was,
Thank
and
you.
again, I heard that at KHS, and I heard it again, and
Yeah.
not disappoint. So
It's a fun one. It's especially one that we don't have to think about when we play, you know? Like, I can just follow him, he follows me.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Kid, like, give and take. We don't have to look at each other, you know? Like, when we're playing with other artists, other band members, I feel like I'm always, like, you know, trying to
Yeah.
give the signals and stuff. And Nick and I just kind of know what we're going to do without talking about it. or like a look or something, and it'll be like, okay, he'll know if I look at him a certain way that we're gonna do it like
Or
this.
that screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You screwed that one up, man.
Yeah. Way to go.
I keep pulling on this paper like I'm giving like a newscast. I don't know why.
We'll see weather on the forefront.
Yeah.
No, that was awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah, man.
guys.
Of course, we're happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Did you want to go into the hot sauce now?
Yeah.
He goes,
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll go grab everything and we'll get it ready to go.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
We're gonna do one of our favorite segments, guys. It's Hot Talk, and it's a little play on words. So we try. It started originally with us doing like a super spicy hot sauce. We talked to you a little bit before the show about us doing the bomb, and let me tell you, the bomb is not awesome. It's so
Not at
bad.
Not the bomb.
Have you guys seen that like one chip that people been doing?
Oh, the one chip
challenge. Did
We
you
were
think
gonna
about
do
doing
that.
that.
We were gonna do it with
Actually,
the
we did that
president.
last episode with the
Yeah.
president of our college, and we had it in the script and everything, and said, "Do one chip challenge with Rich Lloyd," and we were about to do it, and he goes, "Did you guys hear about like that kid who like died?"
No,
Like, the one
great.
chip challenge. We go,
Perfect.
"Oh yeah, we definitely are gonna do that."
And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
crumpled the paper like we
So
were
we
never gonna do the one chip
Oh,
challenge.
man.
I'm scared of that.
Liability issue.
Yeah.
But it gave us an opportunity to try something new and different that we thought was cool. And it's where we like kind of ask you guys or artists or different people on the show what kind of hot sauce they like or
Yeah.
what kind of stuff they've on, and we'll try it. So
Like,
Right
I
on.
should take my
Yeah, you're getting
jacket off
ready
for this.
for
Oh, yeah.
this. You're
My
starting to gear
face is
up.
already.
Are you a non-spicy
I love spicy stuff, but my body just I'm that person.
I'm like that too.
Like if we ever did hot ones, I would
Oh,
be like
man.
crying, and just be like, "We're trying it."
You're making me feel like I gotta roll my sleeves up. I don't know why I did that.
I'm ready.
He's ready.
I wore my white shirt too.
Let's do this.
All right. I'm gonna put some of the chips out.
Do it.
Want me to take some
So
of this out?
yeah, just pour a little bit on your plates, whatever you guys, however much you want. And so with this segment, it's also like I said, it's a play on words. So it's hot talk. So we're eating something spicy, and then we have a hot topic with it.
All right.
So sometimes controversial, or sometimes it's just fun to talk about.
All right.
And this hot topic is kind of like given since it's you guys, but what it's gonna be genres of music. What's your favorite singers, artists, and yeah,
All
we'll
right.
get this all out. Michaela, you're like, don't worry, you're gonna get some too. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Hopefully this
right.
stuff doesn't let me down. I don't know. This is from the store right here.
Chad. So Chad is. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's a little heavy right there.
You know and love it right there.
Oh, there you go. I'll get some over here for Chad. Yeah, I got to get some of this out. Chad is I would say Chad is a food connoisseur. Would you say so?
I would call myself that.
a pro.
I'm a big cook. I like to cook. I like to go spicy.
Nice.
And even me when I had the bomb, it was not about to happen at all.
Yeah.
It's so much so fast.
a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time, but one more quick story before we actually get into this pain is we tried to bomb last year during we got back from Christmas break, and so we're going back, and it's a whole bunch of guys, like a whole bunch of track guys, tennis guys, all our buddies are in this dorm, and Chad whips out the bomb and he goes, "Initiation time, boys."
Yeah, right here,
And
right now,
we all-
right here, right now.
We try it. There's guys outside shoveling snow in their mouth,
Oh,
dying,
man.
and I'm sitting there, and it's
Yeah.
my esophagus is burning. But so luckily this is not the bomb, and we're really excited to do this. So
Love it.
Let's do this.
I should have brought some milk.
it's probably a smart idea for
Milk
next
shots.
time.
Yeah.
So our hot sauce we're gonna try is the Red Devil.
All
It's-
Yep, this is the one. This is so.
The name like that.
Yeah, they brought their favorite one was the Valentina's. You know, probably a lot of people have had it. You know, Mexican restaurants. It's a classic. But I also grabbed one called the Red Devil Pepper Sauce, and we'll see.
We'll see how it
That's a
rolls.
great
Doing that
name.
one first.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
ASMR.
Pull it up. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Get right up on the mic.
All right. Yeah.
Good.
So funny.
It's not
I
bad.
like it.
No, it's not bad.
That's good.
Which one is this again? The Red
Not
Devil?
spicy as I thought it'd be.
No, that's not bad at all.
This is Red Devil?
Yep,
Very
that's Red
mild.
Devil.
Oh, okay, we're
Yeah.
good. I really
I'd
thought
put
it was
that.
gonna
I'd
be
put
way
that on a
worse,
lot of
but
stuff. Just
the name
to-
like Red Devil.
I
All right,
love it.
Michaela. What's the rating?
I'll give that one a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
All right.
10 out of 10.
What
All
did
right.
you give Rich's?
8 out of 10.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's about
It
that.
tastes like buffalo sauce.
A little bit.
He had one
Like a
from
mild wing
it
almost.
was called Gunslinger, and it's from Mesa, Arizona. Is the one he had. All right, now it's for the Valentina.
We already know how this is.
A little smoky.
Classic.
Classic.
Love that.
It's a staple. Staple in the van on tour.
There you go.
That's good.
Mm.
Every time.
Every time.
I'm big on Tabasco sauce on the eggs or
Yep.
what's the
Some
really
Cholula.
common one?
I use Heinz all
Cholula.
the time.
There's Louisiana hot sauce. That's a common one. Tabasco.
Yeah.
Chipotle, like the
Yeah.
Chipotle Tabasco or whatever. The
Yeah, I
green
love
one too.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really a spicy guy, but I mean these aren't really spicy.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
I like spicy stuff, but I am the guy who eats hot wings and I'm like
Yeah.
sweating
Yeah.
over there. I'm like, I'm good,
I
guys.
always go for the hot. I mean, it feels like the mild isn't enough, so my body just doesn't agree.
Yeah, you've always been.
I feel like this is hotter than.
Yeah.
it
this.
this one keeps going
Yeah.
for sure.
Constant fire.
Yeah, I'm usually the guy that like goes to the restaurant and goes, whatever's like your spicy sauce, bring that one out. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want that one.
I like
100%.
I like
show's more like that.
Chipotle, dude. The green salsa.
The verde.
Salsa verde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I tried the blazing challenge at Buffalo Wild Wings. Did not complete it, but got very close. Yeah.
Man versus food.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yes.
that'd
Oh.
be great.
I forgot about that part.
Well, while we're chowing down and still eating a little bit, let's kind of go into our hot topic. Like,
Yeah.
I'm honestly just curious. What are some of your guys' favorite artists, singers? Thank you, Michaela.
Yeah.
Once again.
Man, it's hard. That's a hard question. We grew up listening to every genre. Like our dad had a vinyl collection. It was
Well, it's sick.
everything from Hank Williams Jr., Johnny Cash to Led Zeppelin to Beach Boys to the Beatles to like George Strait. You know, and it's like I feel like we kind of never settled into a certain genre ever, and I feel like that's why when we write now we're inspired by so many different types. If you listen to a record, you know, a lot of people do singles. We do a lot of singles now, but if you compile it and listen to our catalog, it's like a little different song to song from the beginning of the record to the end, and it's just because we like so many different types. But like current artists and stuff, Zach Bryan just put out a really good record.
Oh, yeah.
Just listen to that on the flight here. Actually, it was really good.
Very good.
Um,
David Ramirez is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
He's a little lesser known. Ray LaMontagne, obviously, always. And we got, just being from Nebraska, country was always on the radio, right? So I think a lot of times when we go play other places in the country, people will kind of hear that country influence, even though we know that's not actually country, right? Like there's like Western country, and then there's like pop country, I guess. Not to sound like a whatever, but I think we kind of have that in our roots a little bit, so it's just there, but it's never something that we've like pursued. We listen to like a lot of blues artists. Gary Clark Jr. is one of our favorite blues artists.
Yeah, like Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats.
I love Nathaniel
It's
Rateliff.
kind of more of like a jam band stuff. A lot of singer songwriters. There's some good pop stuff too that's out. But,
Yeah. Like Justin Timberlake. No, just kidding. I can't honestly tell you that the last time I listened to Justin Timberlake, it might have been like 2001.
Justin Timberlake, if you're listening,
Yeah.
Just
get a little sponsor going. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we could make him famous if we tried.
You get on the market. We'll
Yeah.
make you famous.
Yeah.
Tower Brothers, and we have like Justin Timberlake. We have Tower Brothers.
Yeah.
Tower Brothers and others.
Yeah.
We tried to get Justin Timberlake. We tried to get.
He was
JT,
busy.
but never answers my calls. It's weird.
Yeah.
Strange. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Brad, what's
Yeah, you guys too.
yeah.
I am not a big country guy, but I love the type of music you guys put out, and I don't know if you guys really consider. I mean, it's kind of like best thing. I don't want to compare artists, but like kind of Lumineer, like the Lumineer band.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
I like that. I like that acoustic guitar kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really a jack of all trades when it comes to music. I grew up with a pretty big musical background. My mom did a lot of musical theater.
Nice.
That, so I love a good musical. But
Cool.
I think some of my favorite artists are probably. My dad's a big like classic rock kind of guy.
Yeah.
But you guys said Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Big Beach Boys fan.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
love
It's just
Beach
something
Boys.
about putting those guys on, like
Oh,
that whole era where you
Yeah.
just like can kind of tune out and
Oh yeah.
pretend you're in a convertible.
That's
or
what-
something, you know?
It's feel good.
Chad and I will sometimes take spontaneous trips to Kansas.
Yeah.
And just, like
Yeah.
drive down and.
You get crazy, boys.
And so,
You guys ever gone to Bird City, Kansas? Big Ed Steakhouse?
Never.
it's way.
If you ever go to Bird City, Kansas, bro, one of the best steaks you'll ever have.
It's really good. It's
Big
huge.
Ed Steakhouse.
Fantastic
Like,
right now.
never changed price, you know? It's like,
Yeah, I'm a huge Kansas boy. That's where I'm
Yeah.
from. So
Oh,
I,
perfect.
I do all the Kansas and Kansas barbecue. So that's.
yeah. So what brought you here? Was it school brought you here?
I'm a golfer, so
Oh,
I
nice.
came up here for golf. My town was not a golf town, but
Right, right.
I was a golfer, so I came up here and then met him.
Yeah. What was the town in
Yeah,
Kansas?
yeah.
Augusta, Kansas.
Augusta.
So I was about 15 minutes away from Wichita.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I pretty much
Wichita.
yeah.
We used to hit Wichita a lot.
Yeah, it's
First
yeah, a lot of people go there. I know, like Zach Bryan went there.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about him. He hit up there,
Yeah.
but
It's a cool spot.
One thing that I just kind of want to admit, because you're talking about Kansas, was so over the years, if there's been like a lot of cones in one area and it's super late at night, Nick and I will just like nab one.
oh, it's
Like
awesome.
one time a cone. Okay, and we do that because when we go park, and I think you can get them at Walmart, so I don't know why, but there's something about those big official looking
Yeah.
ones. So over the years, I think we've accumulated maybe 4. And so what we'll do is if we're parking in the city or something, like when we parked in New York, we went down and parked on Broadway, and we put the cones around the van and put the
Oh,
flashers
that's
on.
amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And we
that's
stayed
awesome.
down there for like 2-3 hours and just
Who's gonna question that?
nobody.
Nobody
It's
will.
Amazon van, you know. Stick a big Amazon symbol on the side.
It's that same concept. You can walk into any building if you just have 2 buddies like a ladder. Like nobody's gonna question.
No
it.
one's gonna ask.
Yeah, they're working. Yeah,
do it.
they're working on
How-
something.
How
Yeah,
far
yeah.
can you get with the ladder? It says Joe and
Yeah.
the colors.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Chad, what are your some?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you got?
To be honest, growing up, music was never like a big thing in my life. I didn't listen to a lot. I have bad ears, so I don't go. Your guys' concert's one of the 2 I've ever been to.
Wow.
Not like very small. Like I don't go to big concerts. I can't hear anything
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
going on. But I'm a big '60s guy
Nice.
Yes.
because when I was on the golf course, with my grandpa, all he listened to was '60s.
Yeah.
So the
Love
Beach
that.
Boys, listening to all. Oh, it's amazing. I
Yeah.
would be '60s. I really do like some like '80s rock though.
Yeah.
Like '80s rock.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
song, like my number one, is "Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
love
song.
that song.
Good song.
Oh, I love it. But yeah, I would say like I'm more on the rock side and like kind of that in like classical '60s, so kind of that area. So.
You guys like
Yeah.
CCR? I feel like everybody likes them.
Creedence Clearwater.
Someone told me long ago.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
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 I love those guys. That's one of my favorites probably.
Yeah, I feel like those guys just had some sort of way of being able to say something so simple, so profound, you know?
Yeah.
In the 70s and stuff like that.
Yeah, it just hit you differently, and you hear it now, and you're like, man, they weren't dealing with any of the bullshit we deal with today.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't say that. Beep that out.
Yeah, there's a bleep on. Sorry.
He can't help himself.
Sorry.
It's all
Keep it
good.
on.
If you
Keep it
tell
on.
Nick he can't do something, he will do it. He's like the button kid.
Just
Like,
bad, yeah.
Don't press.
Press the button. All right, cool.
Yeah.
What's
No.
the worst that could happen?
Don't ask me that.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. I definitely 60s, 70s. I also like sometimes to listen to some Bee Gees. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get some a little bit
Yeah.
of disco in there a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's great. Well, this has been awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
guys for
man.
sharing.
Thank you
both.
guys.
Love to learn more about you guys.
Yeah,
just kinda
yeah.
What brought you here? What's kind of your upbringing? And
Yeah,
I got
man.
one final question before we kind of close this thing out.
Sure.
But for aspiring young artists out there, like, what is some advice you'd give them?
Dude, that is a great question. I feel like we get asked that and think about when we were asking that all the time when we first started playing. And we probably would agree on this, but tour, like just play as many times as you can in front of people, every chance you get, and just like never stop writing, and don't hang on what people think. Just do what you do, and anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, we meet a lot of people that are like, I write songs, but I just haven't ever really played out or anything like that. And I feel like that's the difference right there. Like getting your music in front of people, kind of like you said. That's a great place to start. We did a ton of coffee shops starting out right because they have bands all the time or, acoustic artists, and it didn't take much. We could set up a little speaker, and it was a good way for us to play our songs we were writing and then see how people were interacting.
Yeah.
We throw in a cover every few songs or whatever to keep people engaged when they check out when it was our songs.
Yeah.
There you go.
We heard this rule back in the day. It was called 80-20. So it was like 80% of your set should be your songs, and then 20% should be covers. If you're a relatively unknown
Yeah.
artist. So we always stuck with that. that helped us a lot. Yeah, and just taking opportunities and sacrificing things every once in a while. I mean, I don't remember the last time we didn't have a show on one of our birthdays or something like that. It's like no matter what's going on, you got to see the big picture and know that it's all going to work out if you just keep plugging away and use, like we were talking about earlier, use the tools you have, like social media and stuff. I know it's hard because I, especially for one, am terrible at social media, but you got to keep in the running with all these other artists that are putting out content and stuff. So
absolutely,
that's a tool we didn't necessarily have right at the beginning when we started.
Yeah,
So
I think just staying inspired too, and try not to compare yourself too much to, there's a lot of noise out there with TikTok and Instagram and stuff, but having the ability to kind of just hone into what you're doing, what you want to write about, what you want to say, because you're the only person that could tell your own story,
Yeah.
And just being inspired to do that is, I feel like, really big deal, important to do. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, guys. That,
man.
Thank
that
you.
was
Yeah,
great.
that
I
was amazing.
can ask for a better answer to that.
Appreciate
Just
it.
Thanks for coming on. It's been a blast.
do it again sometime. We'll try that
Bring
one
more.
chip or the. Or maybe
Oh my
not. Never mind.
gosh.
Never mind.
bring more
Yeah.
salt, hot
Sure,
sauce.
we'll bring the
Real hot
bomb hot
You guys
sauce.
don't have a
Yeah.
concert after? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, there's no way you can
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
down
That's the
or-
reason this worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not playing. Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
and thank you so much. And with that,
I'm Chad.
I'm Brad. And thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, man.